high-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk, and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading, and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary, and does not constitute investment advice. Master the Markets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to, any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
Hi traders, welcome to our live trading workshop webinar today. We got a lot to cover. I'm taking a look at gold. It's gone off a little bit to the top side. I was looking at the long. I was looking for a confirmation on the 15-minute. Those of you joining in new just before I start rattling away, the first thing what we always do in this live trading workshop webinars, we cover a lot of topics and great value lessons over here, because there's be live trade on the right side of the chart. The first thing we look at is live trading potential trades. We will then cover a topic for today, which is Tom Williams' biggest lesson every trader should know. So you should definitely hear that from Gavin Holmes himself. And then finally, Q&A and events coming up as well. So we're covering this and more in this session. So those of you joining in for the first time, this is Teo Napan here, founder of Master the Markets, Illustrates Conference, and the Traders Open Day. And I'm joined in by my really good friend, Gavin Holmes, CEO of Trade Guider. Hi, Gavin.
Tiru, hi, and hi to the team in India, Kyron and Glenn. Welcome to you all. Yeah, I just tell you a very quick story. Tom Williams was at a seminar with me at Heathrow Airport, and a chap was just about to buy the software from us. And he walked up to Tom, he said, listen, he said, Tom, I'm in trouble. He said, I continually are losing money in the market. He said, I've spent hundreds of thousands on education and all of this. And every time I click the button, I continually lose money. And Tom said, I know the solution. And he went, thank goodness for that. What is it? He said, do the opposite of what you're doing. And when you think about it, that's exactly right. If your gut instinct says buy and the market's going up, sometimes it's completely wrong. And then the market falls as it's done today. I mean, I've had a great trade in the NASDAQ today. You've got to think not like the herd, but like the wolf. Okay, because there are predators out there that will take full advantage of the herd. Now, when we look at volume, which we'll do today, we'll show you how that works. And there's some new developments that we've got here at Trade Guider, which we'll show you, which uses SMI, the Smart Money Indicator, that Tiru has developed with his team. And what I found is it's very interesting what's happening with Bitcoin right now. And I've bought Bitcoin, Tiru's got Bitcoin, and everyone was saying months ago, oh, it's terrible because it's going to keep going down. But it made a historic high today. What a great day to be doing a webinar. And so we'll show you setups. I did a YouTube video, which is already getting loads of views. I can see that actually, because I'm tracking it on the other computer. And it's only 7 minutes, but it does set the scene for what happened in the NASDAQ. And gold is very interesting. And then you've got obviously Bitcoin. But we'll take a look at any charts that you'd like to look at. And I'm going to be using the latest, what we call the elite version that is plugged into TradingView, because we've now got a load of followers on TradingView. I think it's over 1,000 at the moment, and we'll obviously do a lot more with them. And there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about today in a fairly short period of time, you know, maybe 90 minutes. But this is an educational we do it every Thursday. I did get an email from a client today who said, you don't do any more webinars. I said, we do one every Thursday, and we have, and they get a lot of views. So I'm looking forward to today, and it's being broadcast live on YouTube. It will be automatically archived, and then if you've got any questions, we'll show you can get them answered. Tiru, back to you.
Great, traders. So today I'm looking at gold trade over here. I'm just going to push this trade out on, I'm just going to get it ready on the Telegram channel as well. So what are we looking at over here? I'm looking for a confirmation dot over here. But before that, I'm going to align all the time frames together. So I'm going to take a look at this. So this is on the SMC down. It's just that maybe the time frames won't align. I'll just put it on the other screen here. So if you just follow me for a bit, and I'll give you the reference points as well for this. On the 4-hour time frame, we've got a downtrend phase 2 that is happening. So we got on the upside, we got this on downtrend phase 2 over here. On the 1 hour, it is, in terms of trend alignment, as an uptrend phase 2. So it is consolidating at the moment. So let me just do that. And then on the 15-minute, then we got a downtrend phase 1, which might confirm at the end of this. So I'll put it as a tentative. Then when I look at all of them together, in terms of the stretch principle, and I'm waiting for this to confirm, right? And then to take out that that range high that we got over here. Not sure if it's going to do that, so we'll wait patiently towards that. So, and what we got is on the 1 hour stretch, is taken the upper stretch line. You can see this one over here, right? On the upper stretch line over there. So let me put that on upper stretch line here. And then the BRO to ST ratio wise, which one is it? Or is it at the moment? Yeah, to the upside as well. So it's looking so far to the upside. I just got to double check the trend alignment once again. I've got to then also check the volume as well. This previous daily high has been taken out. So that is previous daily high has been taken out. And in terms of range, let's take a look over here. In terms of the range, it has done, let me see. So it has not done its ATR range. The bias is towards the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at the moment. Got 3 more minutes to the close. I will also take a look at the volume over here as well. You can see there is a rising volume here that is going across the third moving average as well. Okay, I'll go a bit more lower. And if we get a test around that area, that'll be much more powerful. It might retrace a little bit, we might see. Let me see. Yeah, it might retrace. Is it testing around there? We got a high volume bar over here. Gavin, what are your thoughts on this? You think the...
Well, you're looking now for a gotcha bar. If that volume is very high, it's close in the middle, next bar's down, right? So there's definitely some sellers on a small time frame, but it's not evidenced on the slightly bigger time frames. And I'm looking at it myself because I'm ready to press. I'm ready to press the button. Now, the bottom line is, there are better trades at the moment, but that at the moment you've got to be, remember what Tom, we're talking about Tom Williams today, what he taught us. And he said, markets don't like ultra high volume on these big up moves, especially if they close in the middle, the next bars close lower. So that's not, if it gets tested, it doesn't mean on a small time frame it won't go higher. I've got my first trade with Tom. We're talking about Tom today. Was a £5,000 losing trade, and that's because I got impatient and I said I saw the end of a rising market signal on a small time frame, and I went short. It was against the trend. Stupid trade. And I had the money. I didn't care. I was like, okay, I'll take the trade. And then lo and behold, the whole thing carried on going up. And Tom looked at me, and I got stopped out. And this is something you mustn't do with the market. You mustn't lose your temper. You mustn't get angry with it, because it's just what it is, right? You have good days, you have bad days. Everyone does. But anyway, it went up on an up thrust on the hourly chart. And he said, you better get back in, because now it's going to move. And I think I've told this story before, but it did. It collapsed about 30 points. And had I taken the trade at the point he told me to, I would have made not only my money back, I'd have made another 30 grand. So you got to just be cautious. The one thing I have learned from trading is you're paid to be patient. You know that, Tiru. I know that.
Yeah.
You're sitting here, you're looking at a screen, and I'm looking at multiple screens, and you look at them and you go, oh, hold on a second, what should I do now? And if you don't do anything and you're not in the market, you feel that you're not making any money. But you never forget the fact that you're not losing any money. And that's the worst thing, when you take a real big hit on your account, which I tend not to do. But you can actually take hits. And in my experiences, of running a fund and also trading my personal account, you can actually get hits. And you've got to accept that I've never met any trader that's 100% right. Never. And I've traveled the world. I've met a lot of people. I've traded with a lot of people. And it's all about, and I think Thierry would agree with this, it's about managing your risk, understanding why you're taking the trade, following some sort of plan, which is what we teach, executing to that plan. And then once you've executed to that plan, following your rules, if you've got them. If you haven't written any rules, then you have got no clue, have you? It's a bit like running a business. Every time I've started, and I've started over 20 different businesses in my career, and every business has had a business plan which you present to investors or to the banks or whatever. Luckily for Trade Guider, we're not borrowed into any banks or anything like that. But if you have a plan, then you present it. Tiru, how important is a trading plan? I mean, this is something that I'm really going to focus on in the event that we're doing in October, because I believe, certainly having written my 4th book, that it's so important to have some sort of life plan and trading plan. And I've believed that from day one, really, since I lost money. And Tom Williams really helped me with that. He showed me, he said, look, when you're trading and investing, there is no guarantees. And there are going to be thousands of people out there teaching different things. Many will say it's easy to make money in the market, or the markets, wherever you are. I can tell you it's not. Sorry. I don't want to give anyone any false expectations. If it was easy, everyone would be trading and just making loads of money. 90%, they now say, of UK traders don't make money. So what Tiru and I are doing is putting together a strategy so you can make it. Because if 90% are losing, 10% are making it. What are they doing differently from the 90? And Tiru and I have been to many events, and we've done many webinars, and I think we've come up with what I believe is a really good solution. We're going to do an event in London in October. Hopefully you can all make it, or some of you, if you're in this region. And it's all going to be about strategy and belief, and it will work. But you've got to, because I can see it, and Tiru can see it, and we sometimes struggle. We say, well, the trouble we have, I'll be completely frank, is in this industry, there's a lot of snake oil, right? There's a lot of people promising things that they can't deliver and saying it's easy. Just buy this and you'll be a millionaire in 2 weeks. Well, Tira will tell you, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, back to you, Tira. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I think the most important thing is the trading plan, isn't it? And then trading it in real time. So over here, what we did see over here, which is according to our trading plan, remember, like what Gavin said is, nothing is going to be the holy grail, right? And there's no trader out there who can get 100% reliability. If there's anything that can help you towards getting consistent performance, is first having a very clear trading plan with specific rules and parameters across a principle that will keep recurring. That's your edge. And then after that is to consistently execute it. That's the whole premise, okay? That's the whole premise that we are looking for, all right? Now, you cannot get the consistent performance if you do not have consistent parameters that you can execute, right? Parameters that are quite clear, that you can consistently execute. If you can't consistently execute it, you cannot get the consistent performance, or you got no measure of that. So based on that, how have we taken actually this gold trade over here? Is that we analyzed all the different time frames over here, didn't we? So if you look on the daily time frame, this is towards the SMC down. Direction is down, but then when you look on the 4-hour, it's a downtrend phase 2, right? So direction-wise, it's still towards the upside. And then 1 hour, if you take a look over here, it's towards the uptrend phase 2, looking to take out this high. Let's see if it does take that out or not. And then 15-minute, if you did take a look, it just confirmed that. And that's how we entered that particular trade, right? Uptrend phase 2 at the moment, okay? So that's how we did that. Now, in terms of, so if you look at all of this, and then in terms of the range line, so let me take a look at the stretch as well. The stretch, it has taken to the upside as well. So if you take a look over here, so on the stretch basis, it has taken it to the upside over here, right, is what we have seen. And the range lines, this is what the range lines are for today. That's the low, that's the high, right? Which has got to see if it does take up that range line or not. And then in terms of the Bro to ST is to the upside, previous daily high, previous daily low is taken it to the upside as well, okay? And then it's not, the bias you can see is towards the long side. So if I were to do this and show you guys, this is how we record everything over here, right? So this is how we look at it from the plan perspective. So you can see the SMC on the daily is towards the downside. The 4-hour is towards the downtrend, right? But it's a phase 2. So direction-wise is going up. Uptrend over here. Again, direction-wise is going down, but still an uptrend. And then here, downtrend phase 2, okay? So more or less, even though both are pointing towards the upside over here, and this one is an uptrend, so we are believing that these higher time frames will pull in their direction towards and make this into an uptrend phase 1. And uptrend phase 1, as some of you might not know, is basically the one in alignment with the trend, okay? Those of you who haven't watched 7 Steps to CTP.com, definitely watch that. We go through all these principles over there. So that would be over here, 7 Steps to CTP.com, to give you a reference link that you can watch at your own free time. Once you put your details, you'll get the 7 videos being sent to you, okay? So that's that one there. And after that, after you got the trend and direction alignment, you don't still press the buy trigger yet. And then you look on your stretch principle as well. It's taken out the upper stretch principle. Now for this, to understand the upper stretch principle, what I would suggest is go on to here, right, and take a look at this one, this video here, the stretch principle on youtube.com/master the markets. Now, another thing is what, as Gavin was saying, some of you do say that, you subscribe to the channel, either Master the Markets or Trade Guider, but you don't get notifications. So what you got to do is after you hit subscribe, hit the all bell icon. So that's the most important thing over there. After you've done that, you can do that on Trade Guider channel as well. Subscribe and hit the all bell icon. After that, if you want to revisit the material or whatsoever, you can always go on to our live section. But I highly recommend this one here, the Stretch Principle videos over here. Take a look at that. And then also our live section over here as well, which you can take a look also at your own free time. You can go and revisit all the live trades that we have taken in real time and revisit the learnings from there. And also the same on Trade Guider channel. So if you go on live, at the moment we are going live on Trade Guider channel. On Thursdays, we go live with Trade Guider because we work so closely together in terms of price and volume, SMI and DSA, right? So that's what we can see over here as well. Okay, so you can go and revisit the ideas from here. Now, so coming back, I would say the first step will be 7 steps to CTP. Now, coming back to here, after that, then I also take a look at the upper stretch. It's taken out the range lines. This hasn't taken out any of them yet, but the latest one is the upper range, so I'll say that. The upper range, as I've mentioned here, is this one here, right? So is what I've drawn here as the white lines over here. See? The white lines. That's what I am taking a look at, right? So those are the ones I'm taking a look at. Now, the other things that I also look at is, as I mentioned, the upper stretch over here, right? This green line is taken out that. It hasn't taken out the red line over here. In fact, we got that on TradingView, is a bit much more clearer as well. One of our clients programmed that onto TradingView. You can see that very clearly here, isn't it? It's taken out the green line, but not the red line. So I know, again, another clue that is pointing towards the upside, okay? I'm just stacking all the probabilities on my favor. That's all I am doing. Then, after all of that, you can see that the broad to the STR, look at the ratio as well as to the upside. Please look at the videos that will explain much more in detail. And then I look at also the daily high being taken out. That was previous daily high has been taken out as well. And then I am taking a look at then all this towards the target. ATR range hasn't been done. So then I form a bias. Remember, all the rules that you're doing is towards direction and timing. So this is what we are looking for, okay? Direction and timing. So the direction bias, but before I press the buy button towards this, I'm getting a long bias. And then I add the icing on the cake. I look at the volume, which is what we just did, didn't we, traders? So if you go back to here, you can see nicely put here by the Trade Guider team, headed by Gavin Holmes and his team, very clear. You can see a big volume spike over here across the third relative moving average, okay? Just as nicely what Gavin said, when you get volume in a rising market like this, you can expect some test and some coming back into that area again, especially on the smaller time frames, but on the bigger time frames you can hold. So if you look on the 5 minute over here, you see it is coming to sell a little bit, test that area, basically around this area, if it's going to sustain that buying pressure or not, okay? So those of you who are a bit more conservative, want to wait for the full test and confirmation, then you can wait for that area to be tested, come back up again, and then you can start to take the trade, okay? And your stop loss will be more tight on that as well. I would say do that as a strategy number 2. If you want strategy number 1, you can always enter on the dot. But if you want a bit more confirmation, you can do strategy number 2, where you wait for it to come back, test, and then come back further up. At that point, then your entry and your stop and your stats all will be very different, okay? So that's all the things that you can start to look at. Remember, every strategy will have its own statistical probabilities, okay? Right, so that's the whole explanation on that. So now coming back into here, so I've got my direction bias, okay? And then when do I time myself? When do I exactly click on the buy button? So over here at Master the Markets, one of the ways that we do it is when the bottom is confirmed, once the volume confirms as well. So over here in this example here is when I got the confirmation dot here. So this is where I entered the trade over here, right, on this point here, okay? And then over here, on this, on that one there, I'll put my my stop loss is about 750 away, so I will do this, right? Let me see if I got that. So I got 3319.78, 3319.78. Okay, 750. Now that is backed up by my stats over here, by MAE data. I've shown this a lot of times before. Please look at 7 steps. Also next week when we're going through the live trading week, we'll go through this much more in detail. So you tell me in the stats table over here where to place my stop, and I won't get stopped out 97, 98% of the time. And then I'll get my target, which is then 1.86, then which is this one here, 1.86. Okay, and that's that one there. Okay, so that's it. So we got everything locked in. So that's how we do the trade. And you see, the most important thing over there, traders, is that if you take a look at all of these things, what we are doing is not only do we get a direction bias and a direction alignment, trend alignment, direction alignment, then we take a look at all the other factors to align towards our strategy for direction bias, and we form the direction bias towards the long, and then we put some timing into it. Once that all comes together, then we then take the trade, and then we put the stop loss and target together. This is how we maintain our consistency. Okay, this is how we do it over here. Not every trade will be winning, but we follow on a probability basis towards getting our edge of a strategy monetizing itself and realizing itself in real time. Okay, so that's what I would say. Gavin, over to you if you're looking at any other trades.
Yeah, hi Terry. Yeah, I am. So let me take the screen.
Yeah, let me stop the share here.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it up now. And you should be able to see the screen in a minute. Just bear with me. Okay, good. So we should be able to see the NASDAQ. Can you all see that?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is quite an interesting chart. Okay, it's a 5-minute chart of the NASDAQ. We had an alert much earlier on. We've actually had a number of alerts on this pre-programmed in to the elite software that we've got, and it's based on volume, obviously, but we can see we're in trend up phase one, and phase one on a 5 minute, 1 minute, 3 minute chart means if you're a scalper, you can take advantage of this. Everything in the trending systems are green, and then we've got testing. I'm going to walk you through this trade so you can understand it, and then we can go and look at the gold chart, which we're watching, which you know. This is one of those trades which sometimes it happens, you just go, oh, why? Don't ask why. Everyone's been so negative, and that markets are making historic highs. Bitcoin just made a historic high today. Okay, so you've got to get away from your emotion and into become, yeah, well, there's a great film called I Am Robot. That's what you've got to become. You have to go, I'm not going to get emotional with this. Now, here we go. We're going to play this through. I'm going to show you what this chart is telling me. Now, we come down here and we get something called SO. All right. Now, it's not confirmed, but on other time frames it's called a shakeout. Now, today we're talking about Tom Williams. And that's the subject of this webinar. And I'm delighted to say that when Tom was teaching me to trade, there were certain signals or indicators. He didn't like the word signals, and he liked the word indicators, and I do. Because as Turu has just explained there very nicely, you know, there are no guarantees in the financial markets. You don't, you know, just press a button and you're guaranteed to make money. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. If it worked that way, everyone would be making money. But more people lose than win because, and I'll be honest with this, because they don't have a plan. So Tom taught me about something called, which I've put on YouTube, the shakeout, or what I also call professional buying, followed by test. Now on this NASDAQ, where the alerts have come in, and we've had several, one while we've been on air, we have to look at, are these things actually happening? Look at this. These are all part of the new system. And now everything works, as you can see, in real time. So if the trend changes and we get a downward move, it's going to tell you immediately. Now, if you go to a small time frame, say you've been long and you've got your stop in place, now it's going to fall. How can we know this? Go to a 1 minute chart. All right, it's all on here. Okay, let it catch up. So trend down, phase one. Okay, and there's your SMI indicator. There's where the selling started. So they're marking it down. And then this will start to turn red shortly as it falls. And this is how it works. It's very, very simple. And then what I'm looking for is an alert to say, actually, I mean, you can, by the way, you can change these to a 1, 2, 3 minute chart if you want to. But everything here is telling me with the selling that happened on that bar, and in gold, it's very similar, actually. I'll show you the chart of gold. There's as the market's open, they've marked the price down. There's the SMI indicator. It confirms it. The selling happens in the background. And some people don't realize that. They don't understand that the background is actually very important, because everything happens in the background and then it affects price in the foreground. Now, I can tell you my projection here is it's going to go to 230200 in the next 10 minutes. Okay, and I've got that with my point and figure charting. So 23020.00. Okay, watch. Now, what we're looking for now is we've got the SMI indicator. We're looking for a node. It's going to hit it straight away. Yeah, it happens really quickly sometimes. And in the events that we're going to be doing with Tiru and myself, we're going to be showing this and how we can calculate it. Now, the most important part that I want to show you here is the analysis of the price bar, because if it closes near the low, which it didn't, it closed in the middle, we'd want the next bar to close lower than the close of that green bar. All right. And if it doesn't, nothing to say. You just go, okay, it's not ready yet. But if it does, everything in the small time frames that I'm monitoring on the screen here will change. And you will see the alerts coming in. They come in. I've got it very specifically set for my trade setups. You can set it. The good thing about the system that we've got, you can be very specific. You can say, I want a 1, 2, 3 minute chart. Got a lot of clients using that. But what we'll do is we'll watch. So let's look at the background. So is there weakness in the background? Yes, weakness. Definitely at the moment in the NASDAQ, it's been going up and up and up. Now there's a corrective move. Is there VSA, SMI indicators saying, yep, it looks like it's going to push lower? Watch. Tiru and I talk about this a lot. We said, well, we do this live. We're not, going back in hindsight and saying, oh, well, there's a PowerPoint and that happened. This is live. And it's being broadcast on YouTube. So watch this price bar and see where it closes. And see if my point and figure, now point and figure charts for some people are confusing. They're actually not. They're actually quite simple. It gives you a projection. Now, is that useful? Well, SMI gives you some projections. So yes, if that's what you want. I don't trade that way. I trade with a trailing stop. Meaning, I know the market's going to, what Tiru calls the dance. It's going to gyrate. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. We're on a 1 minute chart of the NASDAQ. Okay, so that's not going to just collapse at the moment. Well, it might. It might, because I've seen this happen many times Whereas if they want to buy it back, the professionals buy at lower prices. So they'll mark it down. Okay, so there is where the target is. It's 23,020. That would be where I could see. Now, do we have no demand? Yes, there is a no demand bar. Okay, and it's tried to go up on low volume, but it hasn't yet changed behavior. And you can see at the moment, the software is quite clearly saying it's still in an uptrend on the bigger time frames. Well, it is. There's no argument with that. So you've got to be patient. But if it starts to break lower, this is what's going to happen. Number one, the volume will start to increase on the down move. Okay. Now, many of you will say, "Well, that's strength, isn't it?" No, it isn't. If it's breaking previous, but now we're seeing it now. Okay, so you can't write this. So it's starting to break down. The next thing you want to see is a massive, widespread down bar through the area of support. And that is a confirmation that they're accumulating. And then if they're going to continue to do it, it's going to go short. You want to look for no demand, which we're already seeing. And it'll send an email alert once it goes through it, because I've got it set. So what is the trending system? I was asked in an email earlier. The trending system is based on two things. Red bars are down bars, and the red dots show a short-term change in trend, which is what we're seeing right now. It's a short term. It's not, I mean, if you're looking at a daily or a 130-minute bar or something, you're looking at a bigger time frame. But the logic behind it is that look at what the system is telling us. Okay, it's number one, it's going down. Number two, it's in phase trend down, and it's in phase one. Phase one means it's going to break that low. Okay, now is this being prophetic? You go, oh well, you've got that bit right. Tyrone and I've done this so many times, right? When you read the market, you don't know, but you take a risk on your trade. So I know here, if some of you are looking at this, and many of you are on YouTube as well, it's going to break the low. It's going to come down. Now, how can I possibly know that? It's impossible. But it's not. Look, because the evidence is behind me. And you all know probably if you've watched me, I'm an ex-police officer. And so I use evidence. And you'll see here that the background is as important as what's going on at the right edge of the chart. Now, what I haven't seen yet is some sort of upthrust, is where the market's marked up quickly, catch all the stops, and then they collapse it. But this is how it has to work. Tiru, when we're talking about the markets as we do, and we're talking about live charts, and this is live, I mean, there's no reason to change it at the moment because I think it's going to go. There's not many people that do it, is there? They tend to do PowerPoints and go back in time and say, oh, well, if you'd have done that and there, you'd have made X. We don't do that. And why don't we do that? Why don't we just use PowerPoints and say, well, if that happened, this happened. This is live. There's no argument. We're on YouTube. We're on various platforms, actually. But, you're absolutely right. Now, okay, we've just seen it. Okay, so hold on. Let me just put that back on. Okay, so here, we're still in an uptrend in the long-term time frames. These are longer-term time frames, 130 daily, weekly. You can see them there. These are much longer term. But we're on a 1-minute chart. We've seen the SMI indicator confirmed, no demand, push down, no demand. So what do we look for now? The next bar needs to break this low, and that will confirm it all. And then you'll understand that it's in the right place. Now, you can change these time frames, by the way. If you want to do a 1, 2, 3 minute chart, you can absolutely do it. But I'm staying on the big time frame because overall, the trend of the NASDAQ has been higher, but they're correcting it now. And okay, we're very close to the target price, and there's another no demand bar, right? It's confirmed. So this is where it will go. Okay, and we'll watch it, and then I'll show you the SMI indicator is probably very likely to come in any minute to confirm it, because it's already here and it's already there. All right, but that's why we work with Master the Markets, because it's so complementary. But what you want to see in real time is how you can project to an area. Now, I know Tiru does this very well. They have statistics, where you can actually go and look at the average daily range. You can look at all of those things. But we're talking about Tom Williams today. And before I hand back to Tiru as we watch this, as it breaks down, what did he teach me? Well, it was very simplistic. It wasn't complicated. And he always said, Gavin, keep it simple, stupid. And I said, what do you mean? He said, look at the volume, look at the price action, look at the reaction to the price, and look at the background, which I do. And then look at where price has previously hit an area and see what it does when it gets there, which you're watching live. Once it gets to that area, if it starts to move on high volume to the downside, which it's about to do, here we go, it's coming in now. Okay, and I'm getting alerts coming in now. Yep, here we go. So now we can, I'll hand over to Tiru in a minute, but we've come all the way down there. There's some news come out, as you can see, which is what this little icon tells me. And it's going to hit that target. It's gone through it. Yeah, okay. So let's just explain it, and then I'll hand back to Tiru. SMI tells me that there's selling pressure up here. The bar reverses, 2-bar reversal. Confirmation, no demand. Target hit. Pretty close, or it's very close to it. It's probably gone down through it. Yeah, it has. Okay, now I've just had an email from John. He said, "What's the next target?" I said, "It's 23,000. It's going to go right through it." Okay, and you can't do this on PowerPoints because it doesn't make any sense. You've got to do it, and that was where the alert came in. See this here? And that was an hour and a half ago. Look how long it took to collapse, but it came in. Okay, and there was no argument that it was there. And then now you're going to see a collapse. Tiru, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think everything aligns well with the whole background, the understanding of the price, and the whole volume spikes. Again, we can see over here the big volume spike over here, isn't it, Gavin?
Yeah. That was the clue that there was about to be this, well, what I call a change in behaviour. I've got another screen where I've got small time frames up. But one of the indicators that we've developed, which is coming in, I think, in the next day or two, is a 2-bar reversal. And that's exactly what that top is. So look, if you analyze that chart, number one, your software picked the top right there at that moment. But then it had to be confirmed. You couldn't go short there. You had to wait. And then the next bar, if that was all buying volume on that massive volume spike, we're still in an uptrend on the bigger time frames. Remember that. That's what the software is looking at. So you're still an uptrend, but they have to sell to buy at lower prices. So where does the price close? In the middle of the bar. It doesn't close at the top and then break out at all. And then the very next bar is an immediate reversal, taking out the low of the bar. Now it's going to keep going. 23,000. I'm absolutely certain.
You see, I think sometimes, Gavin, the question comes because we saw this on gold on the opposite side. And for the information, I'll show that in the chart right now. So it's gone down more further. So we've exited it live, but I'll tell you all the reason why we did that as well. But over here, you can see that there's a volume strength on a falling market, isn't it? And sometimes you have mentioned that it's a signal for, strength comes in weakness. I think this is the thing that people need to get
Okay, I just
clear of the confusion.
I just got filled, by the way, just so you know.
Right. So I think the confusion is usually, sometimes when you say there's strength in the weakness when the volume comes in, I think that's the usual questions you probably get as well. So how would the audience know that volume that came in there is going to support that selling further, or buyers are going to come in and turn that market around?
So the way it works is simple. That's in an uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend. So professional money take profits on up moves, right? If you suddenly get increasing volume with a rush, as Tom called it, closing on the low of the bar, the next bar closing lower, then that is not producing a green indicator, is it? There's no green indicators. There's none. It's all red. The only thing that's not changed is my time frames, the 130 minute, the daily, the weekly here, are still green because it's going up. But what's happening is you've got distribution taking place, which is what we analyze. So it had to go short. It had to hit the target, which it did. 2300, it's live. The whole system told me that. It was Tom Williams who developed it. And so you look at it and you say, well, hold on, everything was, you've even got an alert that came in, an hour and a half ago, saying the market's going to fall, it's a short. And it's the same in gold as well. It's a similar situation. It went the opposite way. But the way we analyze it, we use the SMI to confirm. Look at that chart. It doesn't get any better than that. It's clear. But the big time frame has not changed. The 130, the daily, the weekly, it's still trending up. But what's going on is what you'd expect, a corrective move to buy at lower prices. You've got exactly what you want to see there. No demand in a downtrend on a 1 minute time frame. Now, if you put up, and you could try this if you've got the software, you put up a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute time frame and chart it, then you'll catch these moves, and you don't have to put a lot of risk in there at all. This is going to fall further now. I can tell. And once you've done that, and if you've got SMI and VSA, then we'll teach you how to use it. It's just rules based. It's what people don't seem to understand is the market's going up on massive volume. They think there's a no demand bar just appeared, you see, right there. If the market's going up on massive volume and the price closes in the middle, which is what's happened here, and the next bar collapses and takes out this old area, I hate to say I have to be right, because that's not true. I'm never always right, but you watch this no demand bar. If this no demand bar that's just come in, this next bar closes, okay, and that will turn solid red like that, you'll get lower prices. And it could actually, looking at my point and figure chart, go to 22,980 is what I've got. I mean, we're going to teach this when we come to London, when we're doing the event in London. So we'll watch just quickly, and then I'll hand back to Tiru and we'll wrap it up a little bit. But hopefully you can see that the system works, and we're in phase 1 now on the downtrend. And every time it closes, you'll see this changes. Okay, it's confirmed. Okay, we're going. Here we go. Yep, has to be. Yep, gone straight through it. Yeah, I've already, just to be very transparent, I've closed my trade already, but it's an example of how the system operates based on this here, and based on the SMI indicator, and based on the no demand in a downtrend, which is a very strong signal indicator. Sorry, I hate to use the word signal, and it works, which you can see. I'm just trying to get hold of my Chief Technology Officer, Charles, to see if he's coming in. Let me just bear with me. I think he's got a problem with his internet. That's fine, but it doesn't really matter. I think you've seen it. Let me just check. Is there any questions, Tiru, about what we're showing? Oh, we've got a shakeout now. Oh, that's brilliant. Just what you needed. Bit of news came in. Okay, and now you've got the shakeout. See the SO? And that must be based on news. Now it's only a 1 minute time frame. Keep that in mind. Okay. And so in TradingView, which I like, you can click on that, but it's a 1 minute time frame. So let me just explain no demand, because I just got an email from you, Rob, and you said, well, what is no demand? Well, you're seeing it. The bigger term trends, keep in mind, you can change this. You can change these time frames. Okay, I'm on a big time frame, and it's been trending up for some time. But on a 1 minute chart, it's a corrective move. So no demand with the SMI indicator, the smart money indicator with no demand is one of the highest probability shorts that you can get. And does it send an email? Yes, it did. Okay, we've programmed that in and it's automated. So once you buy the software or you lease it, whatever, you get this and you put your email address in and you get the alert. Now, how many different it's endless. You can basically put in all of the futures contracts and get the alerts. And then if you don't believe they work, and Tira and I have talked about this before, then don't believe it and don't buy it. Go and buy something else. But this works. And you can see it live right now on a 1 minute time frame. Now, I've got another projection for you here. This shakeout is going to hold the market temporarily, and it might move sideways for 3 or 4 minutes. But it's only a 1 minute chart. So if you're going to look at a bigger time frame, the ones I like to use, and I'm sure Terry would agree with this, is you can use the 1 minute chart, and then the 30 minute. It's already turned. So all of this has trapped everyone into the old top where the reversal was, and now they're marking it down. And this is how the markets have to work. And then the buyers stepped in there. They tried to step in there, but then it went up on no demand, and then it's falling. This is volume spread analysis and smart money indication at work live. And yeah, another email had come in as well. Can you show us a 3 minute chart? Of course I can. No problem. Okay, you're a client, right? Yeah, you got it. Absolutely. Everything turned. Yeah, you've got everything aligning. You've got the no demand bars, the distribution phase, and then the SMI indicators two right at the top, and then the no demand bar. And it's going to go lower. Thierry, what else can we say? What else can we do? It's falling as we speak. It's gone through the target. It's clearly showing us in the elite version with the alert why it was going to become weak. Anything else we can do to convince people that this works? I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing to convince. I think the main principles people have to understand is a clear, concise trading plan when you believe in the edge of it. And an edge, I always say, is one that keeps repeating itself. It's a recurring principle that happens in the market and which will highly probably give you a net profit at the end, right? So you must know all your numbers on why it must happen and why it must realize is net profit in the end. Yes, and that can only come down to two things: on the recurring principle and also your total gross profit overriding your total gross loss. So, and we've been showing this, Gavin, because these principles will keep repeating, traders. That's why they keep happening again and again. But remember, every strategy will have its own pros and cons, right? And as we always say, nothing is 100% reliable. Like you've seen on the gold today as well. You see, these are all good learning for you guys. On one strategy where we are looking at, in terms of the NASDAQ, we caught that nicely. Whereas on the other one, you see on the gold over here, how do we minimize the loss? You see, it's gone down more further. We've taken a loss on that one there. Now, but the thing is, when that swing finished and that top confirmed, that's where we exited live. You have seen that come through on the Telegram channel where we cut our losses short, okay? Before then it goes further down. Then you might say, true, why not take it now more short since gold is going more further down? That's not in our strategy rules. Now, if another strategy rules is there, like what Gavin is saying, where you're looking at much more lower time frames, okay, 15-minute, 3-minute, 1 minute, and you've proven to yourself that, you know what, there is an edge over there, right? And then keep taking it. I have seen over all the years of experience is that the thing, if I were to boldly say there's a holy grail in the market, I would say one thing, it's a strong trading strategy written with true thinking behind why the principles must keep recurring. Okay, one is your trading strategy itself, based on a strong edge of recurring principles. The second thing is very important, is the consistency. Okay, consistency is very, very important. Without that consistency and following one plan throughout, it will all get mixed, matched, and mumbled up. Okay, to be very honest, we are strategy developers. We can develop any kind of strategies, but our main forte is really, we have got used to consistently executing on end of day strategies. Okay, and on intraday, it's always a bit more difficult because you've got to be so disciplined. You've got to be there. You've got to wash out the previous trades, and then you've got to get back in zone again. It's much more difficult, especially from a psychological manner and consistent execution as well. Okay, so
I'm back. I'm just so you know, I'm back in the trade. 29. I've got 22,900 here as the target. 22,900.
Yeah, I think people can see that.
It's a round number. It's going to turn to phase 2 in the alert. I just had an alert come in actually on the other computer. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Okay.
See my
So
screen. But anyway, we can put that in the chat box.
It's about to collapse. Okay.
22,900. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So I've just put that onto the chat box over there as well.
Yeah. It's gonna go quick. It's gonna go quick. I've got multiple alerts coming in on all screens now.
Okay, so, great. So I think, see, now traders, you've seen on both sides over here, isn't it? One on the NASDAQ and one also on the gold as well. As I said, I mean, the most important thing is that you have to understand whatever strategy that you follow it consistently for the edge to follow through. I know we've shot a little bit above time, just the last few reminders. 7 steps to CTP, begin of that. First, those of you are already in our database, you have got that for free. And those of you joining new for the first time on Zoom, we can then add you onto this video series and you will get that sent to your inbox. Definitely watch that. That will combine both price and volume, and you can use this in any strategy that you're doing. Okay. The other thing that I would
let me give you the screen. I'm watching this.
No, I've got the screen. I've got the screen.
Oh, okay. I thought I didn't see. Okay.
Yeah, I've got the screen. And then also the YouTube channel for both of us, right? So youtube.com/master the markets is what we are looking at. After you hit the subscribe button, click the all bell icon over here so that you get notifications whenever Trade Guider or Master the Markets goes live. You can see that over here and also on Trade Guider channel as well, okay, on the all bell icon here. youtube.com/Trade Guider. And all the live that we do, you can check it under the live category over here, okay? That's what you can do, all right? Now, those of you may be asking about the stretch principle, where do I understand all of that on? Over here, on this one here, on these videos here, you can watch them along. Now, in terms of a quick shout out to Trade Nation as well, because of them, then we got the Telegram channel that we push out the trades to. And then the final thing, what I do want to mention is the Elite Traders Mastermind Annual Summit. Okay, it's happening on the 10th and 11th of October. It's happening in central London, watching the beautiful views of the Thames River. And then over the 2 days, we'll have lunch, as well as on the first evening, we'll have a dinner together as well. So it's a really nice, intimate setting. It happens once a year, where traders will come from all over the world, and then we have a discussion on the research updates that we have done, you know, much more in-depth price and volume analysis. We'll do 1 day of live trading, and then there'll be great networking opportunities as well. I mean, some of the people that are in our community in both price and volume, SMI and VSA, are just mind-blowing. They even inspire us to keep giving better and stronger value out there. Okay, so that's what we have. Good. So I think that's the thing. And the final thing is next week, we're going to be trading live with 100K for 5 days in full. And then we'll go through some topics as well, some great topics lined up for you. So if you got the link there on the Zoom chat or YouTube chat, you can join that, you can register for that. And then when you click on join, then it will give you the details and you can register for it as well. Okay. Every single day we'll be trading live on Zoom. When you register, you'll get the recordings as well. Okay. And it's been sponsored by Funded Trading Plus. Okay. Those are the guys who are funding it. And then we'll go live stream as usual on Wednesday and Thursday with the 100K and we'll see how we are doing. All right. Great, traders. I guess that's pretty much that from us for today. Gavin, you want to add anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, no, I want to just quickly show the chart if I can. Let me just
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let me just try and see if I can share the chart. So bear with me. Share. Yeah, I'll show you where we're going. And we'll be talking about this in London, obviously. Yeah, I mean, no two ways about that. So, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm still short. 22,900 is where the target is. We're very close to it. Lots of volume in the background backing this up. All the VSA alerts saying the same thing on my other screen here. Trend down, phase one. Okay, this will change dynamically. On my other screen, I've got the 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 up. This would be a nice way to wrap up, so you can all see the potential hidden potential selling. It's professional selling. SMI, no demand, target 22,900. Okay, and we can see the alert.
10 more points,
yeah, the alerts are flying off at the moment, but it's going to go through that.
Yeah, just getting there.
Yeah, it's already. I mean, I've moved my stop down anyway. On the other screen here, going to go straight through it, and then the point and figure chart is predicting further downward pressure here. So we'll stay with you for a few more minutes because we've been with you for about an hour, but we'll just stay there, have a look, see if any signs of strength come in. Some news has just come out here. Okay, so stop is now here.
I think you put a horizontal line there.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm using TradingView here. But I think
no, but you're putting the crosshair there. Yeah, put a horizontal line like that, maybe.
Well, let's just watch it because I'm in it and I'm moving the stop down, and I don't want to. I want to keep this chart clean. You've got no demand in a downtrend, okay, and you've got a clear profit target, and I say it's a target. It's not. If it goes through it, I'll stay with it because it's a sell-off. So you've got no demand after weakness on massive volume, and SMI confirming. And how did I come up with 22.900? Round number. I know, I hate to say it, that's human beings. They work that way. They look for round numbers, and that's where the buying is going to start. I'm certain that they'll start buying at that level, but not now. There's nothing there. Can't see it. Not yet. Can you use this on tick charts? That was a comment that came in this morning on an email. Of course you can. Yeah, you could use a tick chart. Yeah, if you wanted to. I personally don't use the tick charts. I use the smallest time frame I use would be this one, the 3 or the 1, which we've got. If you go to the 1 minute chart here now, you'll probably get a very clear picture of what's going on. Okay, no demand. No demand. All right, and then and it's still, remember, I'm using the, look at the time frames here that I've got, the weekly, the daily, 130, which I've got in the background. You can change those, and if I change them, they'd all turn red, but I don't need to do that because I'm looking at a longer term investment type strategy, but I do know on a 1 minute chart, everything's turned negative. Now, the SMI indicator is saying, yeah, I tell you what, it's trying to hold. It doesn't, this is why no demand in a downtrend works so well. All right, 1, 2, 3. Watch. And that is where the target would be, right there. And I'll put my line on it. Sure. Is there any questions, or are we okay? Yeah. So I mean, it's been a great event, really good event.
No, there are no questions so far.
That's good. Yeah, it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think everybody's just watching it.
We haven't lost
Doug
any.
has just raised his hand. I think, Doug, if you want to type in your question onto the chat box, I think that'd be good. Quick shout out as we are waiting for any other questions as we're watching this. Amir, nice to see you. Claude, John, very nice to see you as well. Kelly, it's good. All our regulars, Ken, Lugi, Marcin, quite a lot of people. Stuart, nice to see you there as well from US. Looking forward to seeing you on the annual summit this year. And we'll definitely make this happen finally. Tom, good to see you as well. Whitney, nice. Stuart, great job. Nice to see you all here. And so many more on YouTube. Just have a little bit more time to wrap up. Couldn't just shout out everything.
Well, we can fit. I mean, it went down to the low here of 20 to 89975. So not far off. I'll take that. And now the SMI is showing a little bit of a bounce, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, everyone. Yeah, we've got it going out on YouTube. It'll be up there live. Have a look at the previous video that I did a few hours ago when the Nasdaq was going up, and then they sold it off. And ultimately, when you see that, you know, you can look at the 5 minute chart if you want to. There's the selling, the volume increased, narrow spread, next bar down, SMI collapse. Trend 1, phase 1, trend down, a complete correction, and what a great trade that was. And then obviously we've got gold, which we talked about earlier, and that is done. You know, this is the gold on the 130 minute chart. There's the buying, there's the test, there's the rally, there's the reaction to it. If it breaks that top at 3.337.8, then you've got a great trade to the upside, because it's going to come back in here. That's all I can say. Brilliant session. Can't beat it. And we've got the alerts here. And if you want to find out more about those, I know many of you will be on YouTube new, then you can go to tradeguider.com and go on our live chat page. And if you've got questions about SMI, we can answer those as well, because we're obviously in touch with Tiru. Nothing more to say. What a great session. And that's what we do. Namaste, everyone. May your God bless you, and take care. Tiru, back to you.
Traders, that's pretty much it for today. That's a good, nice wrap up over there. I'll just put this as our final reminders over here, and then we'll just wrap up from that point onwards. I will just say the first one is 7 steps to CTP.com. Other than that, the next one coming up is our live trading week. I'll see most of you over there every single day for the next 5 days, next live trading week. Amazing amount of learning to be done. We'll see you all over there. Other than that, that's a good wrap up from today from us trading live here from London. As we always say, till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master. Take care and bye for now.